last night? Yes. So we're feeling it this morning? So I'm going to start out by saying this. I'm going to make this very short and sweet. Stop thinking like a dealer. And I'm done. For so long we have thought like dealers. And I'm going to say this. If you're in this room, you're screwed. If you're thinking like a dealer right now, you are screwed. For so long we have acted like dealers, and our customers hate us for good reason. But the good news is, for those of you that are in here, most people are playing the short game. You need to play the long game. Most people that play the short game will realize this is hard. And this is a difficult challenge. And we like to go back to thinking like dealers because it's our nature. Those who play the long game, we are in probably one of the most important time in our industry. We're booming. We're selling cars. You can suck shit and sell 150 cars a month. You can. It's just the way that it is. But eventually, the market will change. I spent 8 years in the mortgage business. From the boom to crash. I caused part of this problem that we had. But we talked about it for a long, long time about the crash. And then it happened. And we were like, wow, it did happen. We will eventually start to tick down. The market will change. People will be in long-term 84 months, 96 months, maybe we'll go 120, I don't know. But they'll be stuck in cars that we can't get them out of, and our everything will dry up to a certain degree. Those of us that play the long game will have processes in place, experience that customers love, reviews out the wazoo, and customers will come to us while everyone else shuts down. So, who knows who I am? You know who I am? Alright. I got one. Tony knows who I am. My name is Josh Mitchell. I'm BDC Director for Dan Cummins Chevrolet. Dan Cummins Chevrolet has been in business since 1956. In 2011, I started there. We were selling 150 units. We went down this process to change how we treated our customers, how we treated our employees, how we did everything, and started creating a process. And in 2014, Glenn Lundy, who was the general sales manager, came to me and he said, we're going to sell 6,000 cars. And I said, you're crazy. We had been going through a 30 to 40% increase year over year. And so he said, we can do it. We can sell 6,000 cars. And so December 31st, 2014, we had sold 6,124 cars. In 2015, we decided that we were going to start really changing a couple things, owning our processes, getting a few things in place like iPads for the salespeople, laptops, getting rid of desktop computers completely, and just trying to make our system mobilized. Okay? And so we sold, he told me we're not going to set a goal. And we sold, I said, yes, I am. And we sold 7,500 cars. So then he came to me and said, so my goal for 2016 is I want to sell 10,000 cars. And that's when the pressure really hit me because I thought that was a ludicrous number. And as of today, we're on track to sell 10,000 cars. Now, do I have your attention? Okay? What I'm going to talk about today is, number one, the past, why the customer hates us, and our road to the sale, what the customer really wants, the process that you need to create, and learn that it's all about the experience. It's not about your price, it's about the experience. So, let's talk about the past. Let's start off by saying we created this monster. It is our fault. We did it. Okay? So the reason why they hate us is the long waits. The whole hurry up and wait scenario. We get them through the test drive, and then the bottleneck of finance happens, and then they sit there, and they sit there, and they sit there, and they see other people go in, and they're like, when is it my turn? And so we created that. It's the bottleneck. They hate it. Hiding information like rates, terms, appraised values. We all know what the rate is, yet we hide it from our customers because it's the magic number that the finance guy needs to go over. Yet we know what it is, and we go with, I don't know. That scenario doesn't work in today's market. We have to give information and information overload. Grant Cardone talks about that in a lot of his trainings, that we have to give information overload. The wonderful word leg, the crutch of finance. They know how to do math, guys. They know that if you bump their payment $40, they know it so you can get your back-end product. They know this now. There's been enough stories from 2020. You can thank them for putting this out. They know what leg is now. And so we cannot throw out a pencil out there that is inflated payments. You're basically crutching your finance department. They can't sell because you have given them all of it. All they have to do is deliver. They can't really deliver it because if you don't give it to them, because they're not ready to do it anymore. And so we've created this crutch for our finance department because of that. Pushy sales guys. The old chain, white suit, bad shoes. That guy. It doesn't work in today's market. It doesn't work. It hasn't worked in a long time. And pushy sales guys will create so many different problems in your dealership because your customers will get irate. The inability to give information. We handcuff our sales department. They can't give information because we won't give it to them as sales managers, so they go out there with the I don't know. Well, how many people, if you were buying something and your sales guy says, I don't know, how many people are actually going to buy that product if they don't know? It's not going to happen. And the no follow-up. Our salespeople can't follow up. It's a very simple process. You pick up the phone. The one thing we hold so dearly in our life. And then we have the flip. Too much follow-up. Brent had his session with quiet is the new loud. Sometimes we just overload them with follow-up 5 times a day with email, text message, video, you name it, to stalk them. And then we put on our automated emails that just start to overload them, and we become junk. So here's some stats. 6 out of 10 want a hassle-free process, experience. What does that look like? 1 out of 5 would say they will give up sex for a month than to go to a car dealership. Some probably don't have to worry to give it up because they're not really getting it. 44% say they would give up social media for a month. I'm addicted to my phone. That would not happen. And 29% said they would give up their cell phone for the weekend than go to the dealership. My phone is attached to me 24/7. I look at it the first thing I wake up before I go to bed 19,000 times a day. I won't do that. So they hate us. Oh, they hate us. So what do they want? What do they want? They want an easy process. They want transparency, whatever the hell that means. We talk about transparency a lot. And we say we're transparent, but in reality, if I shock you, and I do, I'll realize that you're not really that transparent. If I ask you what your best price is, you hide. If I ask what my appraised value of my car is, you hide. What interest rates might be, you hide. It just happens. We are engineered for whatever reason in our brains that we like to hide information. And I'm sorry, but it's not going to work going forward. They want value. They don't want the best price. I know that's what we think they want. And that's what we think that they're after. They want value. And not just value in the product, but value in their lifetime experience. You have a service department. They want that experience too. We have salespeople that don't even walk them over to the service lot or the service end, so to introduce them. So they want easy. They want an experience. An experience. You know, we talk about Apple a lot, and Apple experience, you know, and everybody goes in there and spends money and never negotiates on this $1,000 piece of, it's a computer now, but it's a $1,000 piece of equipment, and we never negotiate at all, and we're happy as can be when we leave that room. But they want the hassle-free, no bullshit, and they want a dealership that actually cares about them. It doesn't matter if you buy a $125,000 Corvette or you buy a $125 Volvo. That customer means everything. Because reviews, when you take care of that customer that buys that unit, that's $125 and it breaks down and you help them out. It means the world to them. It costs you a little money. And how much is that review going to mean to the rest of the world that you actually care about your customers? And so, for example, on an industry that has been disrupted, we'll talk about this one, Uber and the taxi business, and why that industry has completely been flipped upside down. Other than Vegas, you can't really get an Uber here because the mafia owns the taxi business. And I'll probably get shot right now for saying this, but Uber created an experience. The reason why we like it is because it's easy. It's on my phone. It's on my terms. I can pick out a vehicle. If I don't like that guy, if he looks creepy, I don't have to pick him. If I want to step it up a notch and go with a bigger vehicle, I can. I don't have to worry about whatever taxi company that comes up that smells and it's going to be an awful experience. You can pick the quality of your vehicle. It's all about that experience, and it's on my terms. Lyft, and then talking about an experience, I was in Denver back in May, and we had a Lyft driver. And he came up in a Windstar van. It was a little sketchy. And he, being the great person that he was, freestyle rapped. So we would give him a subject, and he would go. Just put on his music and go. And we drove around for 30 minutes listening to this guy. Because it was all about the experience that he was providing. It didn't matter where we needed to go. We wanted to hear this guy. And he made us have an amazing experience. And with that amazing experience, we dropped him $60 for a tip. It's all about the experience, guys. So how many in here have a BDC or virtual showroom? If you don't, why don't you? You know, it's been talked about for a long time that BDCs do a great job. And do you treat your BDC like the stepchild or the golden child? I work in a BDC director, and it kills me when I hear dealerships that treat BDCs like low-paid, waged receptionists, because so many have done that. BDC is one of the single most important departments in a dealership. We create that experience from the get-go, from the email, from the phone call, through the text, through the video, through everything. We create that experience at start. The old statistic said that most shoppers spend 18 hours online and go to 1.5 dealerships. And so they're spending a lot of time online, and we treat our BDC like they can't give information. BDC is important. I would say that we're not too far from selling cars online and never meeting the client at all. We already are doing that. And companies like Carvana and CarDirect and Broom are already doing it, yet we have pushback. Like, we want to see the customer, and we want them to come in because they have to sign the paperwork. We can't do this and we can't do that. And there's so many I can'ts, but yet companies are already doing it, and we're losing out because we're not. You know, the age of the internet changed who we sell cars to. We're no longer competing to the guy 30 miles away. We're no longer competing with the guy 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. We're competing with everyone, nationwide. If you want to sell more cars, you have to think outside of your little town. I live in a town of 9,000 people. Your zip code has no change on how busy or how big your hustle can be. 9,000 people, and we sell 10,000 cars. We're selling everywhere. But the customer picks out a vehicle, negotiates the vehicle, agrees, deliver, boom, done, never sees the car salesman at all. Why wouldn't we want to do this? You know, time kills all deals. Would you agree? Yet, the average lead response was in 45 minutes. I'm done. I've moved on. I've looked at shoes and a house and a car, another dealership. I forgot who you were after 45 minutes. It's just the way the world works. So speed is power. Speed creates deals. The odds are that contact increases 10 times within the first hour. In my BDC, we were right around that 10-15 mark, and it was my desire to be in 5 minutes. And I made process changes, and kept an eye on it, like a hawk. And now we're down to 5 minutes. And our conversion on those leads have now went tremendously up because of our speed and the quality of what we give them. You know, speed is good. If you give them a shitty response, they're not going to remember you, and they're not going to go with anything that you say. So, quality, quick response from real people, and get rid of the automated bullshit sometimes. Automation is good. It's not the end result. You know, long-term follow-up is definitely good for automation. Turn it on for that. But we don't need to be sending an automated email when they first send the lead, because that's the garbage they read first, and then yours gets lost in their spam folder. Read the lead. For the love of God, read the lead. So many times we send, oh, they want a 2016 Camaro, we just send it out. And they had a paragraph that we didn't even read. And so then they're like, well, this fucker didn't even read anything. So read the lead. Provide options. You know, they say that most people don't buy the first car that they look at. So why wouldn't you give them options? If you have a lot of cars, or if you don't. If somebody puts in a Camry, they might like an Altima. Quit thinking like you know what's best for them, and just throw it out there. They'll either throw it back and say, oh, I want that. Or they'll say, yes, I'll do like other options. And communicate the way they want to communicate. You know, if a customer says, I want you to text me, text them. If they say they're in the phone age, they want a phone call, and they have a landline, call them. They just want email, email them. Add the personal touch of video. Video is so big in our dealership, and I think we've talked about it for a long time, and it's time for us to get it through our thick skulls. That video is a way, we all have this. Video is a great way for us to communicate with the customer. They now know what you look like. So if they come in, they can ask for them. They now know who you are. There's the personal side of it. You're a human being. You don't have to be beautiful. You don't have to be handsome. You don't have to be great on video. You just have to be a human being. That's all they're asking. It's all about giving information too. Give information. Communication is all about listening to what they actually want. If you hold back information, they'll think you're shady. Doesn't matter if you aren't shady, if you're the greatest person in the world. If you hold back information, they will think that you are the shady car salesman that is just like everyone else. If you give her, so many sales managers say, well, just get them in. What do you mean just get them in? We've tried that. They want to know what this, and this is. Give. Well, they're not going to come in if I give them. Well, they're not going to come in now. They're not going to come in if you don't give them information. I've never seen someone come in if they want to know everything. And we say, well, I can't really give that information over the phone. It's bullshit. Complete bullshit. We have to give them information. And showroom. Does everybody ever use this? Welcome to Danco Chevrolet. Are you here for the big sale? No, asshole. I'm here for you to rape my wallet and rip me off. We might as well get the 50-foot gorilla and act like we're a circus with that response. It's about information. In my BDC, we answer the phone, Internet Sales. This is Josh. What information can I provide for you today? When the salesmen introduce themselves, they say, what information can I get for you today? It's about information, not about selling cars. If you give people enough information, they'll buy a car from you. If you don't, if you act like the shady guy, they're going to move along. People want information. The sales process, the road to the sale that we've created for our salespeople, that we train them on, we really need to rethink that. It's about walking with the customer. Use technology. Go at their pace. You don't have to sell a car today. Obviously, that's our end goal. But if we go into it with, you have to sell this car to this person today, we've got to do it, and we start being pushy, then they're going to have to go home and think about it. And so the sales process really has to change on the customer's term and go at their pace. And use technology that they're using. That's why we went to iPads, because we wanted it mobile. Here's another thing we did. We got rid of desk. In our showroom, and I know this is, everybody can't do this, but we got rid of every single desk and we put round tables. Because a desk, I'm working a deal at you, not with you. So we went with round tables so we can sit with the customer and be actually with the customer, engaging with the customer, and not across from them from a desk. Lose the pressure. There's no reason to be high-pressure sales guys anymore. If you give information, they'll buy a car from you, and then they'll talk about that experience. And don't sell them, show them. Show them how things work. There's so much technology in cars now that are coming out that it's mind-boggling. Show them how it works. Don't tell them that it has Apple CarPlay. What the hell is Apple CarPlay? Show them how it works. Show them what everything does. They want to know. There's so many things in these cars. They want to know what they're getting into. Some cars don't have CD players anymore. And if you don't know something, don't lie about it. Just tell them you don't know and you figure it out for them. Millennials want full disclosure, yet never will read it. We want full disclosure, and you can hand us, this is our full disclosure form, and we'll never read it. We just want to know you have full disclosure form. And be available and answer your damn phone. So many salespeople get phone calls and never answer them. And then I have to hear from the customer that so-and-so won't call me back. Answer your phone. Call your customers. That's all they want. It's a relationship. They want you to call them and follow up. And be available through text. Whatever they feel is needed that they want to communicate, be available and follow up with them. This isn't easy to do sometimes, but it's not about just one car deal. It's not about one car deal. It's about their next car, and their friend's next car, and their family member's next car. And we sometimes lose that. We don't think about it. We think about just this one car deal, and understand we have to get that one done. But what about that amazing experience when they start sending their friends and their family to you? We can't spend enough money on leads and different things that give you so many different referrals. I have a salesman that sells 60 cars a month, and he's been doing it for 3 years. And most of his business, probably 60% of his business, is now referral business. Because he made an experience for his customer. And he answers his phone. And he uses things like Facebook. And he uses Twitter. Not great at it, but he uses it. His customers know where he's at. They know how to get a hold of him. When they call him or they message him, he responds and cares. So, I mentioned social media. So let's talk about social media a little bit. 63% of millennials stay updated on brands through social media. We don't watch the news. We don't read newspapers. We don't look at magazines. 51% of their opinions on social media influences their purchase decision. What happens on social media? Nobody's going to buy a diesel Volkswagen anytime soon. Social media is kind of ruined there. No one reads newspapers anymore, guys. No one watches real-time TV. How many people watch real-time TV? Oh, that was a low hand. Nobody watches it. And Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this. You know, if we're actually, by chance, watching TV on real time, and we drop the remote, dear God, we'll drop the remote. We spend the next hour watching the next top model, yet the moment a commercial comes on, we pick up our phone and check Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. No one watches TV, guys. No one watches commercials. We have to get it when we're driving. I see billboards for dealerships, and I think, why? Why? No one's looking up. They're not even